is SportsCenter.
Good evening. I'm Alex Ganem, and this is KRAP SportsCenter. We're going to start off with the playoff contenders for Week 11. In the Man League, the top 4 teams, it's staying pretty constant, except that last 4th spot. Chet's, congratulations on whooping Rod's ass. I know that was probably pretty pleasurable to stick it into both of his tight ends. Great job, buddy. As of right now, it's number 1 for the biggest little man in real estate, Cesar Avila. Nobody would have seen this coming, especially with DeMarco Murray at quarterback, Cesar, for the Redskins. Great pickup. Number 2 is myself. Number 3 is Tyler. Can't say anything bad about him, except he's a dodgy twat who didn't call me for lunch this week. Go fuck yourself, Tyler. Maybe Thursday, later. For the Down Syndrome League, the top 4, Vito. Good job. He's still whooping ass. He's only lost 2 games. He can still kiss my ass, though. I think he's going to lose in the first round of the playoffs. I have a suspicion. Number Deuce, dropping a deuce, Skanky Yankee. Who gives a shit about this guy? He is going into the playoffs, like I said, back in like week 4 or 5. I put it into the Power Skankings then. Number 3, great taste, less filling. Colin, good job, buddy. Good job. Stick with it. Number 4, Chris, the Sign Twit. I'm pretty surprised to see you here, buddy. You were off to a shaky start. I didn't really think you were going to make it. But seeing you at 6-5 gives me a lot of confidence. Let's see what happens after this week, though. Moving on to Victoriously Challenged. I want to give a shout out to my boy, smoking buddy, Nick, for number 1, taking a humorous approach to his 0-11 record. He's now changed his team name to It's Your Second Bye Week. Fantastic team name. And I also want to give out a shout out because he is the first record holder for most appearances on Victoriously Challenged. Congratulations, Nick. It's a real honor. Moving on to Bonehead Auction Picks of the Week. We actually have a tie in this situation for the same player. Great job, guys. Jesse, what were you thinking paying $76 for Jonas Gray? I think you're confusing him with Christian Gray, which I think is more up your alley. Colin Miller, what are you thinking? $47. I mean, you're not as bad as Jesse, but I mean, you're definitely less filling. He also went for Jonas Gray. What a douchebag. Moving on to a serious note. Can we possibly discuss turning this into a real man league? I would like to add 4 teams, 2 teams to each conference, and a 15% increase every year to the entry fee. This would allow for more payouts, it would keep more people involved, and it would allow for the ever-beloved Toilet Bowl, which would take the last remaining teams in the leagues and have them have a playoff for a much smaller pot, but something that maybe can entice them to keep trying towards the end of the season. Most of this is totally self-serving, I'll admit. But I know most of you can pay a little more, and as we get older, it should increase a little more with our wealth. But let's vote on it. Let's see what the compadre commissioners, Chops and Chet, have to say this season. Maybe they won't pussy out now that Chet has a job at Google. Moving on to the rivalry of the week. I mentioned this earlier. It's going to be interesting to see these 2 twats go at each other. The Cyan Titties and Colin Miller, a hardcore right-wing supporter of the GOP. Cyan Titties is going to bust out with all of his usual arguments for evolution and the rights and morals of living things and driving Priuses. And Colin Miller, the leader of the KKK chapter in El Paso, Texas. I cannot believe Little Miller Light is going to bust out. Who's going to end up in third place? I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but whoever loses is probably going to go against Vito. And those dodgy twats, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these two. And now for our weekly interview. We go to Seattle with Commissioner Sherrod Dean, the dodgy twat. So Sherrod, you're coming in hot from Seattle. How are you liking it so far out there?
Well, I love it, Alex. It's the best goddamn city in the whole wide world. Way better than all the other stupid towns you people live in. Except, if I could change one thing, I would get rid of all of the lumber sexuals. They're all these pompous assholes with stupid haircuts, beards, and flannel shirts who wear jeans 2 sizes too small and they take their dogs everywhere. I know, it's pretty annoying, Alex. Also, Seattle's music scene is awesome. I get to see all the latest cool bands that none of you assholes have ever heard of, like Kiss My Hairy Ass, or Dick and the Hot Dogs. And just last night, I got a taste of the latest Asian sensation, Cream of Some Young Guy. Lots to do, Alex, lots to do in Seattle.
Okay now. I know Andrew Luck has been your fantasy stud this year, but what do you think makes him better than Russell Wilson?
Glad you asked, Alex. As I said before, it all comes down to deep analysis. Jesse was telling me the other day that Russell Wilson has a much better completion percentage than Luck. But, number one, that's only because the Hawks have a better running game. I have found that if you compare their fumbles above turnovers, or their FAT number, and their carries over catches number, or their cock number, as I like to call it, you will come to the conclusion that the Colts have a better passing game because Andrew Luck's fat cock is way bigger. It's almost twice the size of Wilson's, Alex. Twice the size. Imagine the size of that cock. In fact, Luck's cock is the biggest in the NFL. That's why he's my favorite player, Alex. Every Sunday I print out all the newest stats, and I take a look at Andrew Luck's fat cock in my hairy hands, and it gets me real fired up. I love his fat cock. And number 2, Alex, Andrew Luck's eyes are ranked as the most beautiful in my shower rankings. I mean my power rankings.
Those are some pretty quite obscure stats, Chetty. Even though you're 6-5 and on the verge of just barely making the playoffs, I notice you have second most points scored out of our league, the Man League. What the hell's the secret to 1,420 points?
Well, Alex, it's really a lot of factors. Some say it's due to my giant hairy back. Others say it's my hairy-ass tree trunk legs. But really, it all comes down to how I live my life at Amazon. I'm like one of those new Amazon warehouse drones. I come fast, and I drop shit on your porch. Fuck yeah! I also think it's important to always be a step ahead of the game. For example, when someone orders something through Amazon, I like to test the product and review it myself. Check out my latest review for the new Colossus huge dildo. I gave it 4 stars, Alex. 4 stars. Really went in smooth in my ass. I just love that shit. Gets the job done. Remember, Alex, I'm a professional analyst.
Thank you, Commissioner Chetty. I trust that suicide rate isn't influencing you too much. Have a great evening. Thank you. Moving on to a real special treat we have for you homosexuals. The tiebreaker dance-off. We had a very good tiebreaker this week. Big Chops and the Skanky Yankee are gonna throw down dance moves tonight for your entertainment and your vote. Don't forget to vote. We need the vote to determine if Yancey's gonna be like in second or third. Or if Vito loses out, maybe Yancey could do something interesting. But now, cue the music.
All my ladies in the house after the club close, we gonna gonna get you up out of your club clothes. So just pose for the camera when you see it flash, and just drop it for me, baby, when you see that cash. Master Craft, Nori, oh snap, putting it down, and you know we make it hot when we come through your town. So get down in the club and let the speakers pound, cause oh snap is bringing back suburban gangster sound.
Kid Boogaloo, Master Craft. Oh, we going overseas with this, baby. Overseas. Oh, what you say, baby girl? I know you, and I know what you like to do. What you do? All I do is party. Ha, 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 ha.
All I do is party. Ha, 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 ha.
So bounce low,
Bounce low.
bounce high.
Bounce high.
All I do is party. Ha, ha.
That'll be all for this evening, folks. Good night. We'll see you next week.
So bounce low,
Bounce low.
bounce high.
Bounce high.
All I do is party. Ha, ha, ha. Yo, see, all I do, drink my brew, get high too.
I get hot too.
Yes, I like what you like. Good lesbian, no